Trillium Gold. And Russell Starr, we haven't spoken to you for a few months. How are you doing? President and CEO of Trillium Gold. It's good to catch up with you again.
Yeah, very well, very well.
So listen, just so everyone knows, we're talking about historic Red Lake region of Canada, Abitibi, Greenstone. You guys are situated in an amazing spot, lots of infrastructure, but most importantly, just absolutely historical, well-known. And you've been hitting impressive numbers. You did a raise, well-funded, drilling a ton. I'll take it away. There's lots going on here.
Yeah, look, we're now the largest landholder in Red Lake, extremely dominant land position. Basically Barrick has come in all around us. The market just isn't paying attention to the gold space. It's very, very frustrating, despite literally gold names being at all-time lows versus almost every single indice out there. So we continue to hit really, really high grade gold at Newman Todd. We have this incredible exploration package. And a very, very, very modest market cap, which should be appealing to anyone. And, I often joke about this with people. I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. You're okay paying limitless multiples for the likes of Facebook, Apple, and what is it? Something like 80% of the top market caps in the US have no cash flow. They actually don't generate any profits. Now, obviously we're junior gold and we don't necessarily do that either. But when you actually find and discover gold, that's a tangible asset and a real valuable commodity to any shareholder.
Well, that's the big distinction between people chasing after where a lot of the big money has to go. Like if you're BlackRock, you have to put hundreds of millions into a deal. You have to go to these massive cap, but that also forces a market up where the mining sector, although it shouldn't be as neglected as it is kind of neglected still and has so much room to grow. And people are actually not looking for value where they should be. And there's so much value. And certainly your project in particular, there's a ton of value and potential that is being missed in the market, to say the least. Yeah.
And then you also take another look at who the shareholders are. And when you've got management and insiders owning, 40, 50% of the company, that's a really good thing, especially when you look at a lot of the other juniors out there where management isn't aligned with the actual shareholder base. So look, I can't comment on the dynamics in the gold space other than, the majors are kicking butt, taking no names. They're generating tons of cash flow. They're going to have to do M&A and literally investors are basically giving away the junior gold market, which is frustrating, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part for someone who could see this, who knows it's a cyclical market and is sitting on, especially on a great project where you're going, wait, why? How is no one seeing this? Like you can look at past data, you can look at different markets and how it goes. Why? And I ask myself that question. I talk to people all the time and I go, listen, why would you want to sit in this thing? It's already hit its peak. Whenever you can be in something else that is well ahead of the curve.
This is what tells everything about the company. You can see that Barrick's come in, that big, massive sort of purplish light blue. You can see that we really have accumulated just a major, and quite frankly, the best part of the belt. That literally, sorry, someone's messing around with this big time.
Can you go back to?
There we go. We're good. You can see that we sit on those structures. Look, I would be surprised. I mean, this is the same structure that the Dixie discovery sits on. They have about 7 kilometers of it. We have over 100 kilometers of it. It's just a benign neglect to what could be a multi-bagger. And look, I've been doing this for a long time, and the best place to look for gold is where you found gold, and the best place to make discoveries is along trends that already have discoveries. We have 100 kilometers of strike of the same structure that $1 billion company has that doesn't even have a 43-101 Great Bear. And that's not to say that they're not justified. They've hit high grade and tons of it. All I'm saying is the disconnect between people who are buying that versus what we have and what we could be bringing to the market is substantial.
Well, that's what I was so attracted to it because, you talk about Dixie and Great Bear, and that's 7 kilometers, which is huge. But
Yeah.
then you look at, you go, okay, great. Like I was in that fairly early, a bunch of people here, and that
Nice.
was wonderful. You go, you take a bit of money off the table, even if you're the biggest believer. You go, listen,
Yep.
that worked out well.
Yep.
Awesome story. Well, this one is comparable. I've never like say it's the same, it's that, but it's comparable. But
Yeah.
you're talking 100 kilometers to strike, which
Yep.
it's almost too big where people get scared. Like, oh, that's too big.
Well, like my thought is that the junior market was broken even before this kind of weak market, and that has to do more with just too many small companies with really, really small property packages.
Yeah.
We wanted to do it differently, and we did. And look at what we put together. And this is a land package and an asset package that a major or a mid-tier would be very, very happy to have under their belt.
And you've been amassing data. You've been getting results over the summer and in the fall here as well. So maybe walk us through some of that, because that all that matters, and especially when you do it with the thought or notion that it's a major going to be buying. There's a way they like to have their information presented. There's a way they like to be, if you're even thinking of handing a project over or selling or joint venture. Maybe walk us through what that looks like.
Yeah. Look, we have no interest in JVing.
Okay,
it's funny. There were some JVs that were announced in the area with Barrick recently, and the stocks were up like 100, 200%. People don't understand that when you actually JV, you give away the upside. It's great for the person that you're JVing it with, and in that particular instance, it was Barrick. But from the actual shareholder perspective, your upside is completely destroyed and eroded. So what we're doing is, we're cashed up at least until sort of Q1, Q2 next year. We'll continue to drill at Newman Todd. We believe Newman Todd is eerily similar to what you're seeing at Dixie. The only difference is they have 1,000 holes and we have 100 holes. So that's it's a meaningful difference. But after, like, literally, you get the chance to buy a potential Great Bear for $40 million versus $1 billion or whatever it's trading at now. And then you have all of these other assets on top of it that provide diversification, de-risking, and quite frankly, that Confederation Belt package, like I said, probably 1, 2, maybe 3, who knows, maybe even 4 Dixies sitting on that property package. There's gold everywhere on it. People just aren't paying attention.
And that's, and it's hard. It was frustrating. It's a level of frustration for everyone in the space, because the enormity of it is amazing. But we need to attract more people and eyes onto these stories, and especially your own, because as soon as I remember interviewing you months ago, I was talking to you, and I liked the project because it was similar to Great Bear, and then I was like literally got off the interview with you, and I bought a whack of it. Because I was just like, that's it, I'm good. Like, and I'm not endorsing, I'm not saying it, but we don't have any partnership or anything. But I'm just saying that I was like, listen, I get it, because I did so much work for Great Bear and I looked at theirs for so long, and then just even walking through with what you had, I was like, listen, if I'm going to take a shot at something again, I understand this area, what you're talking about, and what the goal is here, and that management is totally in line, which is a big that's a big factor, like when you're saying with the JV thing.
Yep. So no, it's look, exciting times ahead. Inflation clearly rampant in the U.S. Everywhere, quite frankly. We were just looking at $1.80 gas prices. I've never seen that, unless you're filling up a boat or something with totally different type of fuel, or a jet fuel or whatever. But no, all of the major symptoms are here for a massive rally in the gold market. And look, I get it. Maybe some people are happy to give up the first 30% to make the next 100, but the reality is that there are millionaires are going to be made on this next gold rally, and smart, sophisticated investors will start dipping their toes in now. It's taken longer for it to occur, but you only have to look back at summer 2020 when gold went through 2000. Our market cap, our share price was $2.70. That frenzy will come back into the market when the gold price starts to rally, and you're gonna be paying many multiples of where we're sitting at for this company.
Yeah, no, and people will say, well,
I'm going to drink my soda stream. It's not all that professional, but I'm doing it.
Crypto does give a bit of a challenge, and that space exceptionally well. And yeah, we're both open to it, like it, but that shouldn't dissuade anyone from looking at gold, because whether or not you believe or not, and you think whatever on either one, central banks believe in gold. They believe in commodities. So really, if the main key players are believers, that should be a factor in your decision-making process. If you're an investor, that should tell people a lot.
Yep. No, I agree. And it's, look, I do this a lot. I make this pitch a lot. By the time people realize how bad inflation is, and when they start understanding the real data, and I do, like, I have a master's in economics. I started my PhD. If you look at the way they used to calculate inflation in the US, you'd be looking at 20%. And you'd be looking, and people just aren't paying attention. Like, they don't understand that their fiat is being destroyed. Canada, same thing. I mean, just look at housing prices, oil and gas. Everything is ripping, and the only way to protect yourself in that circumstance is with hard assets. I think crypto is being viewed now as a bit of an inflation hedge, which is intriguing. It's in my opinion, a little bit different than what gold offers, but regardless, anyone who is not long hard assets and some of the precious out there is going to be very, very upset, and probably in the next 5 years, because look, it may be 7, it might be 2. Something bad is about to happen, because you can't have money printing the way that it's occurred without rampant inflation. And the definition of inflation, really, truly, from a pure economics perspective, is the printing of M1. And
yes.
Guess what we're doing?
So, and that speed is massive, and it's more coming. And they've said they're not going to stop. So to me, is that once there's crypto there, but you need to have, then you go, okay, commodities. You got me. I believe commodities. I believe in gold. Is then you have to narrow it down to, you want the multiple. If you want the biggest bang for your buck, then you need to find projects. And once again, it's coming back to, you're in a right jurisdiction, infrastructure, you're in a historic region. Like, it's just check. And you're invested in the company. So we're kind of getting close to the end here, but maybe you kind of wrap that up in one little basket for us.
Look, the basket is threefold. One, is management aligned? Absolutely. Number 2, what's the technical team like? We have, a technical team that I put up against anyone, 150 years of experience in Red Lake. And number 3, there are companies in Red Lake that have the same market cap as us that aren't even drilling. Like, I don't even understand what people are looking at. And so you are offered a major, call it discount right now. It is also tax loss selling time, but the reality is that the sum of the parts aren't being shown in our share price right now. And for smart, savvy, sophisticated investors, great time to dip your toe in.
Perfect. And just before we go, we're coming into the holidays and Christmas, so it's a bit tough, but what are some early milestones? If someone goes, what's the urgency right now? What should I be looking forward in the next couple months?
Tons of news.
Tons of news coming.
Drilling, drill data, information on the Confederation Belt, a realignment. Basically, Confederation Belt was looked at as a base metals belt. Now it's once again being viewed as gold. We're going to be waking everyone's attention up to that again. So just continuous streams of information in the form of news.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Russell. Really appreciate you giving us the update. Awesome. Thanks so much.
You bet. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.